Welcome to another herping video, coming from the famous Komodo National Park in the centre of the Indonesian archipelago. Now before we get into the main night of this video, I did do a tourist visit of the island in the day and finally ticked seeing Komodo dragons off my bucket list, which is a dream come true for many naturalists. However, as you can probably tell, these day trips are extremely touristy, and although the rangers do a fantastic job of preserving the ecosystem of the national park, it was very busy. And shall we say it wasn't quite how the famous videos of various TV herpetologists visiting the area make it seem. Although we were very privileged to witness the rare sight of this female dragon taking down a Javan rooster deer right in front of us, which, although gory, was an amazing example of the power of these huge varanids. We also did some scuba dives around the reefs of the archipelago, so I've included some footage I got of the green sea turtles which were abundant on these reefs, and which are a species often not included in a lot of herping trips to the area. But I'm really enjoying how the diving opens up that marine world too, so I thought I'd share the footage of the turtle sightings I managed to film. Green sea turtles are the most abundant of a handful of species which are found in these waters, and are probably the most well-known sea turtles worldwide. They are named not after their shells, which can sometimes have a green colour to them, but instead for their green cartilage and fat. These turtles are herbivores and feed out on seagrass beds, but they can be found on reefs like this quite often, usually sat at cleaning stations, where they're easy to approach and get some footage like this if you're careful. But now to get into the video, which mainly focuses on the night I managed to get myself onto Komodo Island after dark, to search for the island's other reptilian inhabitants.
Alright, I thought I'd do my little intro here. We're herping on Komodo National Park. Technically Low Liang National Park, which is not an opportunity a lot of people get to do, so I'm pretty excited for this. I've managed to find a ranger and a boat that'll take me here at night. I'm permitted to enter the national park with the ranger. He's got a dragon stick and everything to obviously be aware of Komodo dragons, but they're diurnal, so hopefully won't have too many problems. And we're going to try and find a blue Trimeresurus insularis is my main target. That'd be fantastic. There's also species like Daboia siamensis, the Siamese Russell's viper here, the Indonesian cobra, nice Pitatrix, that's here. There's some other quite nice species as well. There's a nice boega that I'd like to find, Hoezilai. And yeah, there's plenty of other things. There's some Dendrolaphus that I won't go into all the species that are on the island, but hopefully we can find something. I'm just gonna try and find my ranger now, and hopefully that last part of the puzzle falls into place and we're herping. It is actually a little bit spooky walking onto Komodo Island at night on your own. This jetty is giving real ghost town vibes. There's no one here. I'm hoping I can find my ranger, but this is fun. You know you're in Komodo when you look up and you've got the world's biggest lizard sleeping in front of you. Wow.
Being diurnal, these lizards pose very little threat at night, and these were the only three we saw after dark. I never would have approached this close alone, but the rangers clearly knew exactly how habituated these animals are, and were happy for us to walk up and get this footage. After which we continued herping, and soon found the first snake of the night.
Is this little juvenile Lycodon capucinus, the common wolf snake, a snake found throughout Southeast Asia, but I actually hadn't managed to find one yet. And so we've got this one on tonight on Komodo, and this one, he looks like he's only a few months old, certainly would have come out of the egg this year. And he was sitting up in some spindly twigs about 5 to 6 foot off the ground. It's actually a pretty productive herping night here. I think the rains yesterday will have helped. And every snake on here is a new snake to me, so I'm really pleased to find this. And even though a lot of people think this is quite a common snake, I'm really pleased to see it. That's pretty much where he was.
The next snake found was this lesser Sunda's bronzeback, which was extremely high up a tree, so unfortunately I couldn't get any footage, but with the digital camera I managed to get just enough of a picture to identify it, which is this one. After this we split up and kept looking for the main target because we knew with good temperatures and colubris active we'd be in with a good chance of finding it. And soon I heard the shout I'd been waiting for and ran over to find the stunning pitviper that I'd been hoping we'd encounter, in the shape of this stunning blue Trimeresurus insularis.
Well, I hope this is coming out in the light, but we've just found this beautiful blue lesser Sunda Islands pitviper, Trimeresurus insularis. Now this species can be found on a lot of the islands throughout Indonesia, Bali included, where I was previously staying and I'm going to stay next week. But a lot of the places you'll find they're green, but they are quite variable in terms of their morphology. A lot of them can look yellow, and then on some of these islands, this being Komodo Island, also on Rinca Island and Padar Island, they're just the ones I know about, they can look blue. And these are the ones that I really wanted to see. That's a beautiful snake, and the contrast between the blue of the body, then the white lips, and then that beautiful red on the tail. I'm trying to keep a bit of light off it so it doesn't blow it out, because if I put too much light on it I think it would just overexpose it. But that was the snake I most wanted to see coming to the Komodo region. It's not the rarest. I think it's probably one of the easiest snakes to find on this island. Obviously getting to this island itself isn't easy, but it's not as rare as your Siamese Russell's vipers and your Indonesian cobras, but it is certainly the most beautiful Trimeresurus I've ever seen, and I'm really pleased to find this one. I didn't spot it either, I've got to give credit. Who was it that found this one, guys? Yeah, the guides found this one, so I can't take too much credit myself, but I'm just really pleased to see it. We always sort of come across it at quite a similar time, to be fair.
I had to include some photos just to show this one in better lighting, even though they don't upload to YouTube in the best quality. I also just wanted to say that although I mentioned some other islands there, such as Padar and Rinca Island, I don't actually think you can get onto them at night for herping, in case anyone watching this was wondering. I did try and get onto Rinca to try for Siamese Russell's vipers and Timor pythons, but I couldn't talk, sneak or buy my way onto there. Although I know some herpetologists have managed to get special dispensation and herped it, which, although it was a bit annoying at the time, is actually really good when you think about trying to limit the people who get on these islands and preserve the national park. Just thought I'd better drop that info in.
Releasing this insularis now. Exactly where we found it. Look at the contrast with those leaves as well. It doesn't look anywhere near the green of the leaves. But at least that's what it's looking like on my phone screen. I don't know what it'll come out like, but that's beautiful. Well, after the success of that insularis, I can't help but switch my attention to other species like the boya. I would love to see a little Siamese Russell's viper curled up in there or something. I actually have to switch my brain into, in Southeast Asia you spend a lot of your time looking up, but this is the first time since West Bengal nearly 2 years ago for me that I've been in Russell's viper territory. Siamese Russell's viper, but still not a snake you want to get bitten by at all. Completely different kettle of fish to a Trimeresurus really, so I will be remembering to keep looking down through here. I would love to find one though.
After finding the snake I really wanted to see, we started to wind down the efforts and just saw a few more non-snake things on the way back to Lo Liang port, where I forgot to do an outro but boarded the boat home, which thankfully was still tied up to the pier, and headed back through the shallow waterways of these islands, enjoying every last bit of this experience, which is something I've always wondered if I'd been able to do ever since I was a kid watching expeditions here. I hope you enjoyed watching the experience. If you've got this far, thank you very much, and I hope to see you next time.